What's up, guys? Seth Albersworth here with Naomi Shepherd at elitefts, and we're going to go through some stuff that you can do at home to help facilitate building control of hip rotation, building control of spinal flexion, and hip flexion. So we're going to start with something you can do while sitting. Just because if you are sitting, we might as well make it somewhat productive. So the easiest thing we can do while sitting is just isometrics for hip flexion and hip rotation. So hip flexion isos, all we're going to do is we're going to block our knee with our hand and lift up against our knee, and we're going to hold it for 10 to 30 seconds. If we are in pain, the goal is not to crank as hard as we can. The goal is to just crank enough to get some degree of contraction and then try to contract harder and harder day by day, set by set, rep by rep. So just hand on knee, lift up and hold. As far as hip rotation goes, it's going to be very similar, but we're going to focus on planting our foot, making sure our foot is solid on the ground. If we are trying to get better at internal rotation of the hip, we're going to block the inside of the knee, and we're trying to spread the foot outwards and pull the knee in. And again, we're going to go 10 to 30 second holds a couple times per hour. External, got hand on the other side. We're going to go knee outwards, foot inwards, and we go 10 to 30 second holds on that one as well. And again, if any of these hurt, the goal is not to make it hurt. The goal is just to contract hard enough that we can contract harder in the future. So those are easy things to do while you're seated. But
Simple.
things that are going to be a little bit more active, a little bit more involved that we can do at home will be ground-based. So I guess we can hop over here-ish. So this is one that kind of everyone does. It's pretty basic because it's all over the internet, but the 90-90 position. So the goal here is going to be as upright as our flexibility allows us. And again, we're going to be in end range of rotation now, so we can take advantage of that end range and get better at contracting at end range. So we can think about driving our heels down for 30-second holds. And then we can try to lift our heels up. So lift your heels up, not from the ankle, but from the hip. It's like, I'm not very good at this because
So you're lifting up the heel
from the hips. So trying to get the hip rotation to pick heels up. And the goal will not be we don't need to have the leg come up.
No.
We need to have the intent there, and eventually as we get better and better, we will be able to pick up as we get better control of that range. We can also think, did I already say heels down?
push down.
Push down. And once we're done with the rotational isometrics, we can even rotate through the torso to get some lumbar spine rotational access involved as well with the hip rotation.
Just both ways.
Yep, just back and forth.
Cool. They're all really simple but hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
Just make sure you swap sides as well.
absolutely. And again, it's like the fact that they're simple but they're hard. The fact that they're hard means that we need to be doing them so we can do better.
Even just being able to sit upright.
Yep. And with all of this stuff, it's like, this isn't going to be like the biggest driver for getting you back to a big squat. But if you can't squat big, this can be a driver to get you to the start point of the gym. So once this stuff gets easy, that's when we know that we can back off on this stuff frequency-wise and progress further in the gym with our warm-ups and with our training. Now for hip flexors and brace, my favorite thing to do for this is going to be a bear crawl plank. So we're going to get into a bear crawl position. We're going to get up on our toes with our knees off the ground, and then we're going to flex our lats, flex our abs, and flex our hip flexors to try to pull ourselves in. And you can see that I'm shaking when I turn everything on because this is way harder than it looks if you develop the right tension.
Okay,
So give that a shot,
so just kind of, and then just.
and then just pull everything in. Gnarly, right?
Oh. It looks so simple, but
And
so hard.
if you aren't shaking like this when you're doing it, you are doing it wrong because it should be really, really friggin' hard. And the tension you can apply is pretty much unlimited because you can just pull harder and harder the stronger you get. So get really good at those, really solid. And the goal should be to be able to do like 15 to 30 second holds locked in hard. Once that begins to get easy, we can then turn this into like a shoulder tap in the bear crawl position to make it on 3 legs, get a little bit of rotation. We can start kicking the legs out similar to a bird dog as well, and just kind of crank and progress that way.
Awesome. They're tough, but I'm looking forward to progressing them.
So if you guys have a job where you're sitting down, the seated isometrics can be great to start to build some access and control of rotation and flexion. If you guys have a little more freedom, the ground-based stuff can let you be a tiny bit more productive, but the big drivers are going to come in the gym, so make sure to check those videos out.